안녕하세요. 아이오와 대학교 대학원 박사학위 수여식 통역을 맡게 된 외국어 교육 박사과정 박고미, 학교심리 박사과정 강성훈입니다. 저는 이 훌륭한 대학의 총장인 브루스 헤롤드입니다. 이 뜻깊은 자리에 함께해 주신 가족, 친구, 교수진과 임직원, 그리고 동료분들께 이 자리를 빌어 감사를 전하고 싶습니다.
Faculty and staff colleagues, welcome indeed. This is what
대단했던 여정의 마지막이면서 또 다른 여정의 시작인 이 순간을 여러분들은 오랜 시간 기다려왔습니다.
And yet the beginning of another. Before I begin,
시작에 앞서
graduates, let me also welcome you.
졸업생 여러분 환영합니다.
Let me remind all of you.
그리고 우선 여러분들이 이미 알고 있는 사실을 다시 한번 일깨워 드리고 싶습니다.
You didn't get here alone.
여러분들은 혼자 힘으로 여기까지 온 것이 아닙니다. 지금 여기에 자리해 주신 분들, 졸업식을 보거나 듣고 계신 분들, 그리고 여기에 참석하지 못하신 분들, 그 모든 분들이 여러분들을 이끌어주고 밀어주고 도와주셨습니다. 졸업생 여러분, 일어나셔서 여기까지 여러분들을 도와주신 분들께 큰 박수를 부탁드립니다.
Thank you for indulging me.
감사합니다, 여러분.
This day will be a blur, but I hope
오늘의
you
기억은
remember
희미해질
just
것입니다.
getting up for a little
그러나
exercise,
기억해 주십시오.
and also
지금 잠시
for
일어나셨던
what it
것들,
symbolized.
그리고 이것이 의미하는
We all need
것들
help.
말입니다.
All of us
우리
need help.
모두는 누구나 도움이
Pay that
필요합니다.
back
도움을
in
받은
your
것을
life.
다시
Find
베푸십시오.
others that you can
도움이 필요한
support,
누군가를
you can
찾아
coach,
도움을
you can
주시고요.
mentor,
지금 이
and
세상에는
give them
이러한
the helping
도움이
hand and
많이
helping
필요합니다.
mind and helping hearts that I know
감사하시고 그
you all
감사함을
have.
반드시
Our
놔두십시오.
world right now needs a lot more of that, in my opinion. So thank you ever so much. Don't forget it. Let's all pay it back. That's why we're here. Now you're embarking on
이제
something
여러분은
pretty
굉장히 중요한
significant.
시작점에 서
As
있습니다.
our doctoral
여러분이 새로운
candidates,
목표, 커리어, 그리고
on to
학업을
new
향해
pursuits,
나아가는 이때
new careers,
여러분의 각자의 전문
or
분야뿐
your new
아니라
educational
아이오와
endeavors.
대학교에 헌신한 몇 년
And
동안의
you should know
노력에
that we
감사를
really
드립니다.
appreciate and thank you for the years that you've devoted to giving your best, not only to your professional areas, but also to our university.
여러분들은 그동안 멘토들 그리고 교수진들과 함께 연구 사업에 기여해 왔습니다. 이 중에 많은 분들은 학생들을 가르치면서 스스로의 교수 능력을 향상시켰을 뿐 아니라 새로운 시각과 각 분야의 최신 지식을 통해 우리 학생들의 교육에도 큰 기여를 했습니다. 또한 사회봉사나 참여 등의 다양한 방법을 통해 자신의 지식과 창의성을 다른 이들과 나누고 이곳에 활력을 불어넣음으로써 우리 대학과 아이오와시, 나아가서 존슨 지역구 사회에 이바지해 왔습니다. 대학원 졸업생들로서 여러분들은 변화의 최전선에 서 있습니다. 여러 면으로 여러분은 또 다른 놀라운 변화의 물결의 시작점에 서 있습니다. 지금 우리는 각자 전공 전문 분야뿐 아니라 고등교육 전체적으로 빠른 변화의 시대에 살고 있습니다. 저는 여러분이 이곳 아이오와에서 학습하고 성장시킨 지적 지식과 전문 기술은 이러한 변화에 적응할 수 있도록 도와줄 것이라고 확신합니다. 하지만 또한 저는 여러분이 이 변화를 받아들이기를 바랍니다. 변화는 더 나은 세상을 만듭니다. 지금은 이 학교가 처음 세워진 1847년과는 또 다른 세상입니다. 그러므로 내년이 되면 또 다른 세상이 될 것입니다. 변화를 이끌고 받아들이고 잡아서 자신의 것으로 만드십시오. 그러면서 이 변화를 어려워하는 다른 이들을 도우십시오. 우리는 졸업생 여러분이 이 거대한 변화를 이끌어서 새로운 미래를 만들어 갈 것이라는 점에 감사합니다. 이것은 매우 중요한 일이기 때문입니다. 저는 마지막 인사라는 말 대신 곧 만납시다 라고 인사하고 싶습니다.
And I hope
이
all
시간을
of you
다시
remember
돌아봤을 때 여기서의
your
좋은
wonderful
추억
times here.
기억하시길
And
바랍니다.
as you look back on it, you remember all of the great experiences. And when you come back,
여러분이
some things
돌아왔을
will
때
change,
어떤 것은 변해
but much will
있겠지만
have not.
가치, 사랑,
values,
지식, 열띤 토론,
the love,
행동주의 이런
the
것들은
knowledge,
그대로 남아 있을
the
것입니다.
intense arguing,
그건 이 활기찬
the
대학의
activism
일부이자
that's part of this
우리들
vibrant
그리고
community.
여러분들 그 자체인
That's who we are,
것입니다.
is now who you are. Come back
돌아와서
see us
더 나은 내일
and
그리고
participate
미래를 만들어 가는데
in
함께해
making us
주시길 바랍니다.
ever so better tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Congratulations. All the best.
축하드립니다.
Go Hawks.
고 혹스는 학교 응원 구호입니다.
Good morning.
안녕하십니까? 일반 대학원을 대표하여 이 중요한 날을 기념하기 위해 모이신 여러분을 환영합니다. 오늘 음악을 담당해 주신 아이오와 브레스 퀸텟에게 감사를 드리고 퀸텟 멤버를 소개해 드리겠습니다. 트럼핏, 혼, 트럼본, 튜버의 존 매닝 박사님입니다. 이 자리에 함께 해주셔서 감사를 드립니다. 스카리 벤 아이징햄 씨가 수화 통역을 맡아주겠습니다. 학생 수가 많기 때문에 졸업한 학생들의 이름을 제외한 행사 대부분의 내용을 통역해 주실 예정입니다. 지금부터 각 단과 대학과 프로그램을 대표하는 분들을 소개해 드리겠습니다. 제가 소개해 드리는 분들은 제자리에서 잠깐 일어나 주시기 바랍니다. 먼저 저를 도와 오늘 학위 수여식을 진행해 주실 브루스 헤롤드 총장님이십니다. 카버 의과대학의 댄 트라넬 교수님, TP 경영대학 에이미 브라운 총장님, 치과대학 부학장님, 인문사회과학 부학장님, 공과대학 학장님, 약학대학 부학장님, 교육대학 부학장이신 아만다 교수님이시며 박사 졸업자들에게 후드를 둘러주실 분이십니다. 일반 대학원 미셸 캠포 부학장께서는 박사학위 수여자를 호명하겠습니다. 스티븐 발가 부학장님과 다이앤 후버 교수님께서 졸업식 진행을 맡아주셨습니다. 이 자리에 참석해 주신 모든 교수님들께 감사드리며 자리하신 지도 교수님들 잠깐 일어나 주시겠습니까?
Would the graduate faculty please rise?
교수님들의 헌신과 이 자리에 함께해 주심에 다 같이 감사드려 주시길 바랍니다. 박사학위 수여자들은 이제 각자의 분야에서 최고의 수준의 지식인으로서 자리 잡게 되었습니다. 이 학생들이 한 명씩 호명될 때마다 교수님들께서 후딩 세레모니를 진행해 주실 것이며 논문 지도 교수님 혹은 단과대학을 대표하시는 분들께서 도와주시겠습니다. 후드 색깔은 각 단과대학을 대표하며 가장자리는 아이오와 대학의 상징인 검정과 금색으로 되어 있습니다. 핑크색은 음악 박사, 살구색은 간호학 박사, 짙은 파랑은 청각학 박사와 철학 박사를 의미합니다.
and dark blue for those receiving the Doctor of Audiology and the Doctor of Philosophy degrees. We now come to the most important part of the
이제
program,
본격적인 학위
the
수여
moment
식을
where we
진행하겠습니다.
recognize each degree recipient
해롤드 총장님께서
individually.
학위 수여에 함께 하실 텐데요. 박수는 잠시 자제해 주시고요. 박사 졸업자들의 이름이 모두 호명된 후에 함께 축하하도록 하겠습니다. 졸업식이 끝난 후에 모든 졸업생들이 퇴장할 때까지 자리에 앉아 주시길 부탁드립니다.
And we will give this group a full round of applause. After the conferring of the degrees and the farewell, we would appreciate it if you would remain in your seats until the end of the recessional. Thank you again for being here today. Would the candidates for all of our
박사학위
doctoral
수여자들은
degrees
모두
please stand?
일어나 주시길 바랍니다.
President Harold, these candidates have
총장님, 여기
completed
있는
all of the
학생들은
requirements for the
철학
degrees,
박사,
Doctor of
간호학
Philosophy,
박사, 음악
Doctor of
박사,
Nursing
그리고
Practice,
청각학
Doctor of
박사의
Musical
모든
Arts,
학위 과정을
and
이수하였으므로
Doctor of Audiology,
학위
and they
수여자로
are recommended
추천합니다.
to you by the faculty of the Graduate College for the conferral of these degrees.
On recommendation of
일반
the faculty
대학원
of the
교수님들의
Graduate College and
추천과
by the
저에게
authority
부여된
vested in me
권한으로
by the Board of
여러분에게
Regents,
철학
State of
박사,
Iowa,
간호학 박사, 음악
I
박사,
confer on
그리고
each of you the
청각학
degree
박사 학위를
Doctor of
수여합니다.
Philosophy, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Doctor of Musical Arts, Doctor of Audiology, as qualified and designated. Congratulations.
Would the doctoral degree recipients please come forward to be recognized?
이제 전공마다 박사학위 수여자분들은 한 분씩 이름이 호명되고요. 지도 교수님이나 혹은 논문
Megan Schmidt,
지도 교수님께서
Doctor of
후딩
Immunology.
세레모니를
Professor
도와주시게
Stephen
됩니다.
Varga will be performing the hooding. Jay Villanero, Doctor of AMCS. Professor Gregory Howes will be performing the hooding. Roberto Toro Rodriguez, Doctor of AMCS. Professor Ariel Alo will be performing the hooding. Kathleen Beck, Doctor of Interdisciplinary Studies. Professor John Wadsworth will be performing the hooding. Brittany Williams, Doctor of Philosophy and Neuroscience. Professor Amy Lee will be performing the hooding. Catherine Proch, Doctor of Philosophy and Neuroscience. Professor George Richardson will be performing the hooding. Wesley Gore, Doctor of Philosophy and Genetics. Professor Todd Sheets and Val Sheffield will be performing the hooding. Stephanie Hazy, Doctor of Philosophy and Genetics. Professor Dan Eberl will be performing the hooding. Rukia Mohammed, Doctor of Philosophy and AMCS. Professor Bruce Ayati will be performing the hooding. Jennifer Eldridge Hauser, Doctor of Philosophy and Interdisciplinary Studies. Carla Gonzalez, Doctor of Philosophy and Educational Policy and Leadership Studies. Professor Katrina Sanders will be performing the hooding. Casey Culver, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Policy and Leadership Studies. Professor Nicholas Bowman will be performing the hooding. Joshua Holmes, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Policy and Leadership Studies. Professor Nicholas Bowman will again be performing the hooding. Layla McLeod, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Policy and Leadership Studies. Professor Nicholas Bowman will again be performing the hooding. Davida Anderson, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Policy and Leadership Studies. Professor Jody Lindley will be performing the hooding. Kristen Molesky, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Policy and Leadership Studies. Professor Christine Ogen will be performing the hooding. Mark Hopkins, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Policy and Leadership Studies. Professor Christine Ogren will again be performing the hooding. Ryan Young, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Policy and Leadership Studies. Professor Cassie Barnhart will be performing the hooding. Gregory Child, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning. Professor Leslie Schreier will be performing the hooding. William Coggle-Behrens, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning. Professor Leslie Schreier will again be performing the hooding. Pilar Marseille, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning. Professor Leslie Schreier will be performing the hooding. Yiqing Liu, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning. Professor Pamela Wesley will be performing the hooding. Reuben Vine, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning. Professor Pamela Wesley will again be performing the hooding. Wilbeth Lugo Morales, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals. Professor Stuart Ely will be performing the hooding. Aaron Wittick, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology and Quantitative Fundamentals. Professor Ian Grooms will be performing the hooding. Suan Park, Doctor of Philosophy and Counseling Philosophy, Professor Megan Foley-Nickpon will be performing the hooding. Leanne Gann, Doctor of Philosophy and Counseling Psychology, Professor Megan Foley-Nickpon will again be performing the hooding. Adam Gallenberg, Doctor of Philosophy and Counseling Psychology, Professor Megan Foley-Nickpon will again be performing the hooding. Ethan Sacker, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling Psychology, Professor Saban Ali will again be performing the hooding. Andrew Jones, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling Psychology, Professor Saban Ali will be performing the hooding. Laura Zeck, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning, Professor Renita Schmidt will be performing the hooding. Casey Gamboni, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals, Professor Armida Wojciech will be performing the hooding. Dumanji Gutierrez, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals, Professor Armida Wojciech will again be performing the hooding. Ashley Frazier, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals, Professor Jacob Priest will be performing the hooding. Timir Strawn, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals, Professor Jacob Priest will be performing the hooding. Kristen Panos, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning, Professor Sean Dachik will be performing the hooding. Derek Rogers, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning, Professor Sean Dachik will again be performing the hooding. Jing Zhu, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning, Professor Allison Brune will be performing the hooding. Jay Gorsh, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning, Professor Ted Neal will be performing the hooding. Aaron Mertes, Doctor of Philosophy in Rehabilitation and Counselor Education, Professor John Wadsworth will be performing the hooding. Michael Esteban Gerald, Doctor of Philosophy in Rehabilitation and Counseling Education, Professor Noel Estrada Hernandez will be performing the hooding. Xichao Wang, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals, Professor Wan-Chan Lee will be performing the hooding. Rabia Karatoprak Urshan, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals, Professor Wan-Chan Lee will again be performing the hooding. Qing Shi, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals, Professor Catherine Welch will be performing the hooding. Widad Abdallah, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals. Professor Donald Yarborough will be performing the hooding. Ili Zhou, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Fundamentals. Professor Kathy Hsu will be performing the hooding. Shakati Wayavut, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychological and Quantitative Foundations. Professor Walter Yisboel will be performing the hooding. Michelle Hinsman, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning. Professor Deborah Reed will be performing the hooding. Ali Amatu, Doctor of Philosophy in Teaching and Learning. Professor Deborah Reed will be performing the hooding. Haley Wyckoff, Doctor of Philosophy in Rehabilitation and Counselor Education. Professor Susanna Wood will be performing the hooding. Rosina Dominique Britton, Doctor of Philosophy in Rehabilitation and Counselor Education. Professor David Dice will be performing the hooding. In Jiong Lee, Doctor of Philosophy in Rehabilitation and Counselor Education. Professor David Dice will be performing the hooding. Arturo Ugira, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy. Professor Robert Kearns will be performing the hooding. Tara Kruger, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy. Professor Louis Stevens will be performing the hooding. Christina Maria de Barros, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy. Professor Aliaskar Salem will be performing the hooding. Kanita Chidpit, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy. Professor Aliaskar Salem will be again performing the hooding. Brittany Givens Rusulkani, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical and Biochemical Engineering. Professor Aliaskar Salem will be performing the hooding. Karim Ibied, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy. Professor Aliaskar Salem will again be performing the hooding. Namita Sawant, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy. Professor Maureen Donovan will be performing the hooding. Mohammed Al-Barki, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy. Professor Maureen Donovan will be performing the hooding. Mustafa Al-Bazoun, Doctor of Philosophy in Civical and Environmental Engineering, Professor Alex Scranton will be performing the hooding. Anthony Baran Jr., Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Engineering, Professor James Ankrum will be performing the hooding. Xiaowen Su, Doctor of Philosophy in Civil and Environmental Engineering, Professor Marion Musty will be performing the hooding. Stephen Long, Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Engineering, Professor Donald Anderson will be performing the hooding. Mahmoud Metwali, Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Engineering, Professor Nathan Fethke will be performing the hooding. Joanna Utoff, Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Engineering, Professor Jessica Sarin will be performing the hooding. Wei Xiao, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical and Computer Engineering, Professor Gary Christensen will be performing the hooding. Kevin Wabick, Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering, Professor Alex Scranton will be performing the hooding. Marjam Abdeaskouye, Doctor of Philosophy in Civil and Environmental Engineering, Professor Gregory Carmichael will be performing the hooding. Renji Hu, Doctor of Philosophy in Industrial Engineering, Professor Amari Landasi will be performing the hooding. Guian Zhang, Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering, Professor Albert Ratner will be performing the hooding. Jianan Zhang, Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering, Professor Albert Ratner will be performing the hooding. Tavasi Sharma, Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering, Professor Ratner will again be performing the hooding. Anando Kumar Ghosh, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, Professor Amnon Cohen will be performing the hooding. Huako Bungula, Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics, Professor Isabel Darcy will be performing the hooding. Paul Samuel Ignacio, Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics, Professor Isabel Darcy will again be performing the hooding. Alexander Sisko, Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics, Professor Miodrag Jovanov will be performing the hooding. Jeremy Edison, Doctor of Philosophy and Mathematics, Professor Jovanov will again be performing the hooding. Rukia Sabri, Doctor of Philosophy and Mathematics, Professor Colleen Mitchell will be performing the hooding. Rebecca McKinnon, Doctor of Philosophy and Mathematics, Professor Mitchell will again be performing the hooding. Kevin Bombardier, Doctor of Philosophy and Mathematics, Professor Ryan Kinzer will be performing the hooding. Danny Laura, Doctor of Philosophy and Mathematics, Professor Kinzer will again be performing the hooding. Wanchalern Sukpitar Karnan, Doctor of Philosophy and Mathematics, Professor Yonat Kifan will be performing the hooding. Jong-un Park, Doctor of Philosophy and Mathematics, Professor Kifan will again be performing the hooding. Stefan Oborny, Doctor of Philosophy and Geoscience, Professor Bradley Kramer will be performing the hooding. Jordan Brady, Doctor of Philosophy and Geoscience, Professor Frank Wyrick will be performing the hooding. Changmin Yu, Doctor of Philosophy and Film Studies, Professor Stephen Unger will be performing the hooding.
통영의 아들
한종환 정치학 박사님
축하드립니다.
will be performing the hooding. Sayan Bandopadhyay, Doctor of Philosophy and Computer Science, Professor Kasturi Varadarjan will be performing the hooding. Talal Reyes, Doctor of Philosophy and Computer Science, Professor Sriram Pemaraju will be performing the hooding. Andrew Steck, Doctor of Philosophy and History, Professor Rosemary Moore will be performing the hooding. Xiaofeng Tong, Doctor of Philosophy and Statistics, Professor Qishi Tang will be performing the hooding. Yi Shu, Doctor of Philosophy and Computer Science, Professor Tianbao Yang will be performing the hooding. Tianlu Zhang, Doctor of Philosophy in Second Language Acquisition. Professor Chakran Ke will be performing the hooding. Emilia Ilyana Majiquez, Doctor of Philosophy in Second Language Acquisition. Professor Carol Severino will be performing the hooding. Jun Suk Choi, Doctor of Philosophy and Communication Studies. Professor Rita Zoyatz will be performing the hooding. Audrey Scranton, Doctor of Philosophy and Communication Studies. Professor Carolyn Colvin and Alex Scranton will be performing the hooding. Volha Kananovich, Doctor of Philosophy and Mass Communication. Professor Rachel Young will be performing the hooding. Stephanie Grossnickel Batterton, Doctor of Philosophy and American Studies. Professor Christy Naban Warren will be performing the hooding. Catherine Walden, Doctor of Philosophy and American Studies. Professor Thomas Oates will be performing the hooding. Christina Snyder, Doctor of Philosophy and Physics. Professor Jane Nachman will be performing the hooding. Amos Staley Young, Doctor of Philosophy and Film Studies. Professor Alex Scranton will be assisting with the hooding. Oh. Majid Nada, Doctor of Philosophy and Chemistry. Professor Edward Gillen will be performing the hooding. Kamal Kanti Ray, Doctor of Philosophy and Chemistry. Professor Alexei Tavansky will be performing the hooding. Carlos Toro Tobin, Doctor of Philosophy and Music. Professor Shelley Campo will be assisting with the hooding. It's just falling off. Maurice Payne, Doctor of Philosophy and Chemistry. Professor Tori Forbes will be assisting with the hooding. Benjamin Faust, Doctor of Philosophy and Chemistry. Professor David Weimer will be assisting with the hooding. Kyung-Hoon Lee,
화학과
Doctor of Philosophy
이경훈
and
박사님
Chemistry.
축하드립니다.
Professor Scott Daly will be assisting with the hooding. Catherine Rathbun, Doctor of Philosophy and Geoscience. Professor Mark Regan will be assisting with the hooding. Sandra Gomez Todo, Doctor of Philosophy and Art History. Professor Bjorn Anderson will be assisting with the hooding. Xian Wang, Doctor of Philosophy and Statistics. Professor Dale Zimmerman will be assisting with the hooding. Janet Weaver, Doctor of Philosophy and History. Professor Sheldon Stromquist will be assisting with the hooding. Salvatore Stefan Nianto, Doctor of Philosophy and History. Professor Stormquist will again be assisting with the hooding. Gemma Gooddale Sussin, Doctor of Philosophy and English. Professor Harry Stakopoulos will be assisting with the hooding. Chelsea Burke, Doctor of Philosophy and English. Professor Stephen Voice will be assisting with the hooding. Ian Faith, Doctor of Philosophy and English. Professor Voice will again be assisting with the hooding. Corey Hickner Johnson, Doctor of Philosophy and English. Professor Amanda Tyne will be performing the hooding. Anna Williams, Doctor of Philosophy and English. Professor Jeffrey Porter will be performing the hooding. Miriam Janacek, Doctor of Philosophy and English. Professor Lori Branch will be assisting with the hooding. Akia Jackson, Doctor of Philosophy and English. Professor Mariam Thackard will be assisting with the hooding. Catherine Nesbitt, Doctor of Philosophy and English. Professor Jennifer Buckley will be assisting with the hooding. Naomi Rogers, Doctor of Philosophy and Speech and Hearing Science. Professor Patricia Zabrowski will be assisting with the hooding. Megan Lawrence, Doctor of Philosophy and Psychology. Professor Jody Plummert will be assisting with the hooding. Tanya Rumke, Doctor of Philosophy and Psychology. Professor Bob McMurray will be assisting with the hooding. Justin Raber, Doctor of Philosophy and Psychology. Professor Daniel Trinell will be performing the hooding. Kelsey Wilson, Doctor of Philosophy and Psychology. Professor Turnell will again be assisting with the hooding. Elaine Reski Hernandez, Doctor of Philosophy and Music. Professors Kate Gefeller and Daniel Turnell will be performing the hooding. Paula Ortego Verdugo, Doctor of Philosophy in Oral Science. Professor John Warren will assist with the hooding. Clarissa Souza Gomez de Fantaura, Doctor of Philosophy in Oral Science. Professor Lena Maria Moreno Uribe will be assisting with the hooding. Iman Esmael, Doctor of Philosophy in Oral Science. Professor Rodrigo Rocamaya will be assisting with the hooding. Christina Lee, Doctor of Philosophy and Business Administration. Professor Amy Christoph Brown will be assisting with the hooding. Zhenyu Yuan, Doctor of Philosophy and Business Administration. Professor Amy Colbert will be assisting with the hooding. Jordan Nielsen, Doctor of Philosophy and Business Administration. Professor Colbert will again assist with the hooding.
경영대학
온희진 박사님
축하드립니다.
Professor Daniel Collins will assist with the hooding. Nate Quinn, Doctor of Philosophy and Business Administration. Professor Collins will again assist with the hooding. Sunaya Srivastana, Professor Nayakun Kupam will assist with the hooding. Sun Hyung Kim,
경영대학
Doctor of Philosophy and
김선형
Economics,
박사님
Professor
축하드립니다.
will assist with the hooding. Chelsea Crane, Doctor of Philosophy and Economics. Professor Friswold will again assist with the hooding. Lian Juin Lee, Doctor of Philosophy and Economics. Professor Friswold will again assist with the hooding. Hui Shang Luo, Doctor of Philosophy and Economics. Professor Amanda Tyne will perform the hooding. Yuen Yong Liu, Doctor of Philosophy and Business Administration, Professor Gautam Pant, will assist with the hooding. Ki-Yong Yang, Doctor of Philosophy and Business Administration, Professor Eric Lee will assist with the hooding.
Nicole Knighty, PhD in epidemiology, being hooded by Professor Kelly Reichman. Catherine Chiariso, PhD in epidemiology, being hooded by Professor Mary Charlton. Geneva Wilson, PhD in epidemiology, being hooded by Professor Christine Peterson. Wesley Hattel, PhD in epidemiology, also being hooded by Christine Peterson. Aaron Mobley, PhD in Health Services and Policy, being hooded by Professor Keith Mueller. Corey Bowles, PhD in Occupational and Environmental Health, being hooded by Professor Matt Noneman. Marie Ozan, PhD in Biostatistics, being hooded by Professor Jacob Olson. Ryan Peterson, PhD in Biostatistics, being hooded by Professor Joseph Kavanaugh. Hannah Campbell, PhD in Biochemistry, being hooded by Professor Chris Damali. Tyler Weaver, PhD in Biochemistry, hooding by Professor Catherine Musselman.
Congratulations.
Jacob Littman, PhD in Biochemistry. Being assisted in the hooding is Professor Michael Schneider. Samantha Atkinson, PhD in Informatics, being hooded by Professor Justin Groby. Jeremy Sangren, PhD in Pharmacology, being hooded by Professor Justin Groby. Rachel Minerath, PhD in Pharmacology, being hooded by Professor Chad Greeter. Andrea Hallberg, PhD in Molecular and Cellular Biology, being hooded by Professor Robert Cornell. Heather Reese, Doctor of Nursing Practice, being hooded by Diane Huber. Melissa Wood, Doctor of Nursing Practice, also being hooded by Professor Huber. Palma Iacovotti, Doctor of Nursing Practice, being hooded by Professor Diane Huber. Trudy Laffoon, Doctor of Nursing Practice, being hooded by Professor Anita Steinman. Heidi Robinson, Doctor of Nursing Practice, being hooded by Professor Richard Bogue. Tammy Miller, Doctor of Nursing Practice, being hooded by Professor Mary Dirks. Nicole Myrodi, Doctor of Nursing Practice, being hooded by Professor Larry Newman. Kelly Burish, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Assisting with the hooding again is Professor Larry Newman. Emily Haast, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Assisting with the hooding is Dr. Larry Newman. Stephanie Mounier, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Assisting with the hooding is Professor Larry Newman. Rika Marie Burrows, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Newman is again assisting with the hooding. Sandra Skolton, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Newman is assisting with the hooding. Chaitana Daniels, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Newman is assisting with the hooding. Adam Elliott Culver, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Assisting with the hooding is Professor Newman. Eric Ledley, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Newman is again assisting with the hooding. Michelle Gillitzer, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Newman is assisting. Alyssa Miller, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Daniel Wiesman is assisting with the hooding. Emily Schultz, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Wiesman is again assisting with the hooding. Justine Link, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Dan Wiesman and Tess Judge Ellis are assisting with the hooding. Jennifer Whitman, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professors Van Cleve and Judge Ellis are assisting with the hooding. Katie Braun, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professors Van Cleve and Judge Ellis are assisting with the hooding. Brittany Ham, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Roop and Judge Ellis are assisting with the hooding. Laura Kersey, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Roop is assisting with the hooding. James Kinney, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Roop will assist with the hooding. Kyla Reyes, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Roop will assist with the hooding. Krista Hageman, Professor Roop will assist with the hooding. Neha Jackson, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Roop will assist with the hooding. Joshua Rorda, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Roop will assist with the hooding. Janessa Montgomery, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Van Cleve will assist with the hooding. Claire Goki, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Van Cleve will assist with the hooding. Rita Becker, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Van Cleve will assist with the hooding. Melissa Mann, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professor Heather Baer and Cormac O'Sullivan will assist with the hooding. Misty Kleinmeyer, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professors O'Sullivan and Blair will assist. Courtney Hartberg, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professors O'Sullivan and Blair will assist. Matthew Fleege, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professors O'Sullivan and Baer will assist. Christina Niemann, Doctor of Nursing Practice. Professors O'Sullivan and Anderson will assist. Megan Wing, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Professors O'Sullivan and Anderson will assist. Lindsay Brown, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Professors O'Sullivan and Anderson will assist. Shannon McKibben, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Professors O'Sullivan and Anderson will assist. Rose Dino, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Susan Jones will assist. Oliver Molina, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Daniel Moore will assist. Trevor Less, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Dan Moore will assist. Nolan Hauta, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Christine Getz will assist with the hooding. Austin Seibert, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Jonathan Allen will assist with the hooding. Kamsan Dilokunanan, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Jeffrey Agrill will assist with the hooding. Tyler Hendrickson, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Christine Rutledge Russell will assist with the hooding. Rebecca Furtado, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Volkan Orhan will assist with the hooding. Andrew Ginch, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Scott Conklin will assist with the hooding. Xuan Kwang, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Ellen Huckleberry will assist with the hooding. Puyan Lau, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor Rainey Laquana will assist with the hooding. Ti Zhang, Doctor of Musical Arts, Professor John Morello will assist with the hooding. Gabrielle Watson, Audiology, Danielle Kelsey will assist with the hooding. Sian Kim, Audiology, Professor Danielle Kelsey will assist with the hooding. Paige Haberman, Audiology. Professor Kelsey will assist with the hooding. Megan Raseo, Audiology. Professor Danielle Kelsey will assist with the hooding. Bailey Taji, Doctor of Audiology. Professor Danielle Kelsey will assist with the hooding. Lisa Brody, Doctor of Audiology. Danielle Kelsey will again assist with the hooding. Courtney Lansing, Doctor of Audiology. Professor Kelsey will again assist. Rachel Carroll, PhD in Audiology. Professor Kelsey will assist. Rory Vose, Doctor of Audiology. Professor Kelsey will assist with the hooding.
Let's offer these doctoral graduates a round of applause. Thank you very much. It's been a privilege for the graduate
학위
college to
수여식을
confer the
주관하고
various
참여하게
degrees
된
on these
것을 영광으로
outstanding
생각합니다.
degree recipients
우리가 가진
and to host this
지식과
commencement
기술로
ceremony.
미국뿐 아니라
Our nation and the
우리
international
학생들이
community to
속한
which
전
many of
세계
our graduates
커뮤니티에
belong
당면한
depends to a
문제와
large
미래의
extent on
문제를
the knowledge
풀어나가야
and
할
expertise
것입니다.
of our graduates to help solve the
졸업생
problems of the world
여러분들이
today
자신들이 맡은
and
역할을
into the future.
인지하시고 새로운
We
지식,
depend on our graduates
혁신,
to understand the
경제
critical role they
발전에
will play in
기여하시길
furthering
바랍니다.
future knowledge and innovation, economic development around the world, and the hope and desire for international understanding and perspective. The next phase of your lives will bring new challenges and
여러분은
opportunities.
인생에 있어 또 다른
The
도전과
accomplishments of your
기회를 맞이할
graduate
텐데요.
careers,
이 자리에
which have come
오기까지
to a
이룬
fruition
여러분의
today,
성취
have prepared
결과들이
you to
다음
move on
도전
to face
과제들을
these
맞이할
challenges
때
with
밑거름이
newfound
될
confidence
것입니다.
and perseverance.
졸업생 여러분이 현재 이룬 이
Remember
학위를
that with the fulfillment
미국인의
of the opportunity
4%만
to
가진
pursue and
기회이자
complete
성취인
your
것을
graduate
기억해
degrees,
두시고
you've
그러기에
accomplished
여러분들은
something that only
책임감을
about
가져야 합니다.
4% of Americans have obtained.
여러분들은 여러분의
With this
뒤를 이을
accomplishment
다음
comes great
세대를 돌아보고
responsibility.
이끌어야 한다는 것을 잊지
Those in this
마세요.
room today have helped
이
and nurtured you
사회의
towards
문제를
this
해결하고
culminating
우리
moment in your
사회의 삶의
formal
문제를
academic
개선해
career.
나가는데
And as you move
여러분의
forward, I
경험과
now charge you to
기술을
look back
현명하게
and help
사용하실
those that
것을
follow you.
당부드립니다.
이제 다음 여정을 출발하는 여러분들께 추억할 말씀 그리고 개인의 삶과 커리어의 행운을 기억합니다. 여기 오신 분들 다시금 축하 말씀 전해드리며 안전한 여행이 되십시오.
We wish you always safe travels. Go Hawks!